After the whole hellscape that is the voter game, I realized that I need to make another theory regarding my predictions to follow my original video. And so, for this, there's no other character that I should talk about than Ikeda Daiki, the ultimate art forger. Starting off, what the hell? This is 1000 times more brutal than Tetro Pink, and it's as if Ikeda was being tortured to the point where he pleaded for mercy, and regardless of the begging, people like Kumada still believed it was the better idea to sacrifice Ikeda. He's basically like a Milgram prisoner who got voted guilty during trial 1. Now, there are many directions his character could take, and right now, I have 3 ideas where he could go, and I'll start with the least likely to likeliest. Okay, what if Ikeda in chapter 1 dies? Not by being killed, but by the staff members themselves. Someone commented on my last video, so shout out to them. But they predicted that what if, instead of a double murder, someone gets killed by the staff itself because of violating a rule, which seems likely to happen for someone like Ikeda. Considering there's going to be another game for them, I believe this next one will be more brutal than the last. If you check the description, even the voices of the staff are credited, which hasn't happened in the last games, which means they'll be involved in some way. Like, how the hell can this new challenge be more brutal than the last? Many things could happen, but I want to first predict how the game could work out. Maybe in the reward game, to get the reward, the students are given an option to either not take the reward or to take the reward themselves, but they must choose to punish someone. This could mean that people like Komada might choose to target their scapegoat Ikeda for supposedly the betterment of the group, which could be the reason why the staff members arrive. Ikeda could die or be too badly injured to the point where the staff needs interventions. But that doesn't seem as likely, since if it's part of the game, why would they intervene? So Ikeda's anger against Kumada may grow to the point where they start brutally fighting each other in the middle of the game. And considering that they're both tiny, as said by Yokoi, it would not be too far-fetched for Ikeda to want to hurt her, even if he has so many injuries already. He could die in the game, but that doesn't seem as likely compared to my other theories. The two of them fighting in the game is possible though. Let's move on. Another likely thing to happen for him is that he becomes the first victim. Considering that he's already badly injured, he is now expendable, and was such a rage baiter during the first days. It would paint such a target on his back. If the reason they hurt him during the voter game was because he isn't an asset, then it's very possible that those same people will feel no shame in murdering him and drawing first blood. It would also make sense. Can you imagine if Ikeda lives and makes it to the first trial so badly injured? He would barely have anything to contribute. He'd basically just be a spectator. He's already considered a liability. Anyways, lastly, here's the theory that I think is most likely and I'm willing to bet on. He would make it past the first chapter and possibly become someone who dies in chapter 5 or becomes a survivor. He already has such a prominent character arc, and if his direction is to change for the better and learn to trust those around him, it will take time. There's already one thing that I really think could happen. I believe that Ikeda and Shishikura will become allies. For starters, in the voting game, there are only 2 people who never voted for Ikeda at least once, aside from Ikeda himself, and those are Tei and Shishikura. I understand that Shishikura is a character who puts his morality above what keeps him the safest, but the fact that when people first started voting for him, characters like Denden, Tsukigata, Yokoi, and Hirose, who eventually stood up for him, voted for him at least once, so it's sort of odd that Shishikura is an exception, and actually, it makes so much sense. Considering Ikeda's personality, he's already guarded even way before the voter game happened. But after its events, it seems likely that he'll quietly cling on to the people who never voted for him. For the people who voted for him at least once. He doesn't know if he could trust them, but he doesn't hate them compared to the people who just kept voting him, like Ono, Ninomiya, Komada, Yaitebashi, Maikawa, Ogura, Isoda, Nishiguchi, and Akiba. In the last episode, Ogura and Akiba said they wanted to visit him and apologize, but considering they were partly a reason for how he ended up that way, he hates them now. If we look into Ikeda's eyes, back then, he used to say that they were all just strangers to him, but now, those who were there for him are people he'll try to trust, while the rest are half he considers his enemies. For Shishikura, if you look into his character, he has a total of 27 surgeries in his lifetime, which means that he knows the pain that Ikeda must be going through right now. It's most likely that he'll be the one to help him get better. Also, Tetro Blue does love foreshadowing future events, and this line about Kumada asking Shishikura, do you want to be Ikeda's best friend or do you want to stay alive? It could be foreshadowing future events. Also, if I can recall correctly, the two of them haven't had any too negative interactions with each other. That's why I really think that Ikeda is making it out of chapter 1 alive. Because considering the multiple directions his character could go, it wouldn't make sense to waste him as a chapter 1 shocking death. Aside from Shishikura and obviously Tei, other allies he might get along with are the others who stood by him. Also considering that both Hirose and Denden are the only other duo that both voted for him not to be tortured, it would make sense if he got to open up to them more. While for the rest of the characters, everyone else seems to be divided against each other. And Kumada's plan got everyone in disarray. This definitely isn't going to end well. Anyways, how was the theory? This definitely had more merit compared to my last theory, but all I hope is that Ikeda lives. I can him, and I hope he survives. But at least he has so many green flags to make it past chapter 1. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm Aris, and if you want to watch more videos like this, then feel free to subscribe so that you don't miss the next one.